Test. You got an earpiece in yours? Are we good?
No, I just got one side. So I guess we don't have a monitor, so we'll just
swing it.
Yep. I know that we're going to come to a wide shot, so that's when I'll come in and like we normally do for a radio intro. I would say because I think we're going to get into this a little late, we'll keep ours a little shorter. We'll just talk about the rivalry, some of the great players that have played in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. You saved my notes.
One take of a charge at all.
That's right. That's right. Jam-packed DeVos Fieldhouse on the campus of Hope College here in Holland, Michigan, as we get set for the rivalry renewed. When it comes to the men's side, Hope and Calvin doesn't get much better than this. One of the best college basketball rivalries, not only in West Michigan as we know it, but also in the country. I'm Brett Makita, along with former Mr. Basketball and MSU star crowds like this, partner, but you also grew up with this rivalry. What a great one tonight, renewed now for 2022-23.
Absolutely. This environment is good as it gets at any level of basketball. We're in for a treat tonight. Both these teams getting into MIAA action and looking to get off to a good start and get a big rivalry win.
And one of the cool storylines is both head coaches played for their alma maters, and they know all about as a player this game and now coaching in this game. We're talking about Greg Elliott for Hope, the home team tonight, the Flying Dutchmen trying to find themselves. Evan Thomas is back in the lineup. And then on the other side, Bill Saul, two-time All-American, two-time MIAA MVP. He is back home at Calvin after stints at Ferris State in Northern Michigan, and he's got this young Knights team believing.
They are certainly going to be fired up, losing all 3 games to Hope last season. There's some bulletin board material for Coach Saul and his ball club here in this one tonight.
All right, let's hear from both coaches right now. We'll start with SID of Calvin University, Jeff Beavis. He sat down earlier this week with Bill Saul about tonight's matchup.
I think it's always big in this game that you have a little bit of experience, so that's certainly on their side. It's a team that is really physical on the defensive side, an incredible offensive rebounding team, and along with that, just so good at getting downhill. And when you look at
We're joined here by Calvin head men's basketball coach Bill Saul, and we're looking at tonight's Calvin Hope men's basketball game. Coach, could you just give us a little summary and synopsis of your season thus far leading into tonight's game?
It's been a pretty good start for us. I really didn't know where we were going to be in the beginning of the year. Real young team, starting a lot of freshmen and guys that had never really had a whole lot of experience. And I think over the time, we've kind of had an identity of getting the ball inside and being a really good defensive team. certainly still a work in progress. We're still trying to find our niche and our way, and really what we're trying to do is find our best basketball here at the end of the year. But some good results and some really good wins.
So from a scouting report, this Hope team, you played them 3 times last year. They have a lot of returning players and faces. What are some of the things that concern you as you go in and you scout them for your squad?
As a veteran team, and you look at who they have coming back with them, and Thomas, Clayton, Dykehouse, 2 really marquee all-league players, and I think they've done a really good job of developing some of those younger guys that now are in more significant roles. I think it's always big in this game that you have a little bit of experience, so that's certainly on their side. It's a team that is really physical on the defensive side, an incredible offensive rebounding team, and along with that, just so good at getting downhill. And when you look at not only Thomas and Dykehouse, but Warman, they just have a number of guys that can get the spots. TJ McKenzie's been really good for them. So, we will have our work cut out for us. And then can we consistently have the ability to get good shots and not turn it over? That's been our Achilles heel so far, is the amount of turnovers that we have in games. So we're really hoping to limit those opportunities and make sure that Hope doesn't get those home run turnovers.
Yeah, you kind of alluded to my final question, but the keys to your side to get a win on the road, obviously the turnovers are one part. Anything else that comes to mind?
Well, composure will be big, right? You have that first experience of playing in this game. How are you able to play with the emotion that you have to play without becoming emotional? And then, having kind of that strength as a unit, strength as a team. I think from 1 through 15, every one of our guys has to really be prepared to go in a really adverse situation and do well.
All right, very good. Thank you.
Here is Jalen Overway, the big fella, returning home because he played his prep ball just down the road at Holland Christian.
And just 13 games into his freshman year, as good a start as you could ask for the big fella on the inside. Hope's going to have their hands full trying to defend him tonight.
All 6'9", Mr. Double-Double. Now, let's find out about the Flying Dutchmen finding their way a little bit after MIAA regular season conference and tournament champs. Alan Babbitt, Sports Information Director at Hope College, had a chance to sit down with Greg Mitchell about the matchup.
Hope College Sports Information Director Alan Babbitt here with Greg Mitchell, the Hope College men's basketball team, previewing the 208th game in the rivalry. Coach, what do you like about your team heading into the matchup tonight?
Well, I like that we're a little bit healthier. I'll be honest; it's been a challenge non-conference season, and you were at a spot right now where I think we're playing a little bit better. We had a great game at Trine, probably played well enough to win 90% of the game and didn't finish it, and then got a much needed win on the road on Saturday. So we're not at 100%, but we're getting a lot closer for the first time in about a month. So I like that, and then with that being said, I like our experience. We've got a lot of guys that have logged a lot of minutes on the court, and we need to take advantage of that.
What does Calvin present to Hope as an opponent?
Yeah, Calvin's a little different than last year. They were very experienced, real dynamic guard play, and this year they're kind of led by a freshman in the center, Jalen Overway, and they've played really well with him and around him. And I think they kind of know who they are. It's an inside-out basketball team right now. And I also think they're playing really well defensively as a group. So what they might lack in experience, they're gaining and just being a little bit different. Anytime you have a big presence in the middle, you're gonna cause problems for other teams, and they've done a great job playing through him.
Keys to the game tonight?
Yeah, I think the biggest key for us is to utilize our experience. I think our guys understand what's at stake and have been out there, and they got to take advantage of that. I think that comes with winning the possession battle. We want to put pressure on them. We want to really play fast, and if we do that and take care of the ball, I think the game turns into a possession battle, and that's where rebounding becomes really important. But I'm gonna lean into our experience, and our guys have been there before, and I think that's gonna be really important that they play comfortable, play with great confidence, and just great toughness.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck tonight.
You bet. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America with the singing of our national anthem, please welcome Hope College freshman, Mrs. Genesis Clark.
Oh, say, can you see birds' early lights? What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rang like the bombs bursting in the air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Genesis Clark. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the DeVos Fieldhouse here on the campus of Hope College for today's MIAA contest between the Knights of Calvin University and your Hope College Flying Dutchmen. Here are tonight's starting lineups. First for the Knights at 1 forward, a 6'4" junior from Huntley, Illinois, number 0, Uchenna Egekeza. And at 1 forward for the Flying Dutchman, a 6'7" junior from Holland, number 5, Tanner Wiggering. At 1 forward for the Knights, a 6'6" junior from Wheaton, Illinois, number 20, Marcus Bolt. And at 1 forward for the Flying Dutchman, a 6'4" senior from Okemos, number 24, Evan Thomas. Starting at center for the Knights, a 6'9" freshman from Holland, number 4, Jalen Overwell. And at center for the Flying Dutchman, a 6'9" sophomore from Ada, number 33, Gabe Quillen. At 1 guard for the Knights, a 6'3" freshman from Caledonia, number 5, Luca Ressler. And at 1 guard for the Flying Dutchman, a 5'10" freshman from Lansing, number 1, Marcus Orman. And at the final guard spot for the Knights, a 6'3" senior from Grayslake, Illinois, number 15, Eli Sensenay. And at the final guard spot for the Flying Dutchman, a 5'11" senior from Zeeland, number 0, Clayton Dykehouse. Head coach for Calvin University is Bill Saul. Head coach for Hope College is Greg Mitchell. Your officials this evening, Jimmy Jarrett, Chad Palmer, and Zach Perrett.
Drew Knight, so 2 standouts, 1 each way to highlight. Jalen Overway, the big fella, only a freshman, Mr. Double-Double for the Knights.
We talked about it. The fabulous freshman off to a hot start. Just 13 games into his freshman year, taking the MIAA by storm, leading the league in rebounding and scoring. And for Hope College, Evan Thomas back into the lineup. Only played 5 games so far this season, so still trying to find his way, but they're certainly happy to have him back on the floor.
Absolutely. He wasn't going to miss conference play. That was kind of the plan after the broken finger. Came back in 37 minutes in his opener. That double overtime loss, a tough one on the road to Trine. This is the first home game in conference play for Hope starting tonight.
Yeah, and Evan Thomas, a guy averaging 17 points per game, 8 rebounds per game, can go inside, outside, likes to back his man down, post up a little bit. So we're in for a treat here tonight, partner.
Here we go. Opening tap on the Hope Sports Network underway. Calvin in their visiting maroon with the yellow numbers, yellow and black trim, and they start with the basketball. Out top with it for Calvin is Luca Ressler, another standout freshman from Grand Rapids Catholic Central. They swing it right side. Overway and Quinlan, the battle of 6'9" postmen. You don't see that too often in MIAA play, and there Quinlan knocks it away in transition. TJ McKenzie into the front court. Great story there, that's Clayton Dykehouse. Little motion offense here. Marcus Warman has it right side. Back out between the circles, Clayton Dykehouse. Man-to-man pressure defense by Kelvin. Comes off a high screen, jumper up and nothing but nylon. Good start for Hope. And Dykehouse was one along with Evan Thomas that really burned Calvin to those 3 wins a year ago.
Absolutely, 3 wins in all 3 meetings last season, and Dykehouse being aggressive early, getting this crowd into this ball game.
Man-to-man defense, they go down low. Overway trying to show some range from 12 feet. No good off the back iron. Rebound Quinlan. Both teams will get out in transition as Quinlan on the secondary break. Out top, swings it left side. Marcus Warman, freshman out of East Lansing. A dump down low to Quinlan now against Overway. Tries to do the pump fake, not there. Good defense by Overway. Back out in the quarter, Thomas. Good matchup there with Egekeza as the triple try by Quinlan way off the mark. Rebound Calvin. Luca Ressler will do all the little things like that. Defensive rebound. Usually guarding one of the best guards on the other side. And his first Calvin Hope game along with Overway. In the middle, Egekeza gets it to go. Nice step through that time and finish by the product out of Illinois.
Uchenna Egekeza, and athletic, can go inside, outside, shoots the ball at a high clip from the perimeter. He's going to have a big game here tonight.
Thomas, the former All-American, short on that one. He's got the 2 fingers taped. Still not 100% coming back on that left hand. We'll keep an eye on that. We're tied at 2 in the early going here. Glad to have you along across the country. Calvin and Hope always special. Alumni pride, the energy, you can feel it in the building tonight. Egekeza crossover against Thomas. Yes, and a finish off the window. Count it and a foul. And a nice crossover right in front of Evan Thomas from the right elbow.
I like that set by Calvin, bringing kind of 4 out, 1 in, bringing Overway away from the basket. No big in there to protect the rim. And Egekeza using that bounce, using his athleticism, finishing through the contact.
Hope has struggled not only on the season coming in, but here at home as well, where usually both these teams outstanding as Egekeza short on the free throw. Rebound cleared out of there by one of the local products. Wiggerink up ahead. Quillen, big fella, can run the floor, puts it up and in. Calvin late getting back after the miss. Good transition by the Flying Dutchman.
Yeah, if you're Calvin, you have to sprint back. No excuse there off a missed free throw to get beat in transition. Hope wants to push that tempo. Talking to Coach Mitchell before the game, wants to create easy baskets for his ball club and use their experience.
Turnaround jumper blocked by Wiggerink, the 6'7" product out of West Ottawa, and now a foul on the putback attempt. They're going to get Wiggerink. Doesn't like it, obviously, and that'll send to the line for Calvin Eli Sensenig, senior out of Grays Lake, Illinois, Westlake Christian Academy. They've got 3 products that'll be in their rotation tonight from the western suburbs of Chicago. And this is one of their lone senior leaders, Sensenig, in and out on the first.
And really no true point guard out there on the floor for Calvin University. And Sensenig does a good job. He'll handle the ball when he comes into the game, as well as Egekeza. But Sensenig 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio this season. So does a good job getting them into their offense and running the show for Coach Saul.
Too strong off the back iron, but Jalen Overway with the offensive rebound. Matched up with Quinlan. Tries to spin baseline. Good job by Quinlan. Now knocked away. The help coming from the blind side of Overway. That time Dykhouse to knock it away. It'll stay with Calvin. What a job Bill Saul has done coming back 22-9 a year ago. They got into the Division III National Tournament all the way to the Sweet 16, and that really kind of catapulted this program to now so excited. And they are a young club this year, Drew.
Yeah, off to an extremely hot start. You talk about all their youth, and the future is certainly bright there at Calvin University.
Luca Ressler down low, bodied up by Thomas on the left block. Gets it out top, and shot clock violation by Calvin. Great defense by Hope.
Yeah, I mean, credit the crowd on that one. Really getting into this game, and none of the players or the bench saw that shot clock winding down. So good defensive stat for Coach Mitchell's ball club, and both teams trying to find their way here, feel each other out, and you got those butterflies going that first couple minutes up and down the floor, get settled in and attack and execute the game plan.
Media timeouts every 4 minutes, just like you see at the Division I level. 16:30 and ticking left to go here. Opening half, tied at 4 apiece. Getting in the paint, tries to step through, lost the handle that time, knocked away by one of the freshmen that they're excited about coming off the bench, and that's Owen Varnado. And Varnado played his high school ball along the lakeshore just north of here, Western Michigan Christian. Varnado, hands off in the little Michigan State weave, almost losing it with Sensenate, gets it back to Ressler. Ressler trying to back down Dykhouse. Turnaround jumper, yes, strong off the window, and that's part of his game.
Yeah, using his size right there against Dykhouse, kind of just putting him on his backside from the wing there, and good patience by Luca Ressler, and having a nice freshman season as well.
Got the start tonight, and just like we saw in his prep days at Catholic Central, can't keep him out of the lineup. Just does all the little things for you. Thomas now trying to back down Agakeza. Needs help in the paint. 3-second violation. Evan was looking for some help. Didn't get it. And now substitutions for Greg Mitchell. And we've reached our first media timeouts. Sold out crowd here, 3,200 plus. It's been sold out since early in the week, and why not? 14:38 left to go here. First half, and we'll step aside as well. Calvin 6, Hope 4, and you're watching it live on the Hope Sports Network.
My name is Shay, and I have a condition that I take a medication that's made out of human plasma.
Hi, Shay. Welcome to BioLife. We take the generous gift of these donors in order to make these therapies. We make it safe, fast, and easy.
You know, you're compensated for your time while you're coming in and donating.
I just really wanted to thank you for your donation, because y'all do change lives. Y'all really do. And I'm thankful for that. My name is Shay, and I have a condition that I take a medication that's made out of human plasma.
Level's good.
Hi, Shay. Welcome to BioLife.
Back here at DeVos Fieldhouse, Brett Bakita along with Drew Knight. So glad to have you along. And our broadcast being brought to you in part by some great Hope College anchor partners like LBC Financial Planning, Lighthouse Title Group, and Holland Board of Public Works. Thank you so much for bringing us this broadcast that we're happy to be a part of, asked to do for both the women and the men. And they're on the YouTube channels of whatever the host school is. So we're the Hope Athletics YouTube channel tonight, part of the Hope Sports Network. 6-4 our score. Just under 15.5 left to go first half. Calvin left to right on your television. As now a travel going to be called. Drag the pivot foot. He was trying to get it to the left wing that time to Marcus Bolts. And I tell you, the Dew crew is in high performance over there, the student section for Hope College across the way. Now, good contingency behind us to our left from Calvin.
Yeah, I mean, not many better atmospheres in college basketball than right here tonight. And packed house, sold out crowd. And
Dykhouse gets it between the circles on the handoff. Now bounce pass down low on a little screen and roll. We're going to have a bump. going to be called as Devin Cheney into the ball game. 6'8" junior forward out of Batavia, Illinois. Again, both of these programs, we know them as, you know, the West Michigan high school kids that are just dying to play for either one of these programs, but both footprints have really spread out to Illinois, Indiana. You can see it on their rosters.
Well, when you have the success year in and year out and make deep runs in the month of March, I mean, you can recruit nationally, and that's what both of these programs have done over the years, and both programs are in great positions.
Shot clock down to 7. Dykhouse swings it over. TJ McKenzie, two-sport star, fadeaway jumper. That's off the side of the backboard. Wiggering trying to beat the shot clock. Gets it up and off the front of the rim off the board. No, rebound cleared by Calvin. TJ McKenzie, standout wide receiver on the football team for Peter Sturzman, gets the steal down. Can't miss it with the neon orange shoes. And he has really upped his game this year. His third year playing basketball as well. 12 points per game, 4 rebounds coming in. Thomas off a high screen from Cheney. Frees him. 3 ball just off the mark. Back iron. Rebound hauled down by Egekeza. And I tell you, at 6'4", he's a tough matchup at this level with the ups that he has as a guard. A good rebound. Coming off a high screen. Good matchup with McKenzie there, trying to go baseline. Bump by Wiggering. And they'll call a block.
And Egekeza wants to get to that right hand. If you're Hope College, you got to take away that right side, force him to the left. But when he gets downhill, going to that basket, we talked about with his athleticism, 6'4" frame, he's hard to stop when he gets in the lane.
Second personal against Wiggering, so he's going to have to come out. Checking in for him, Harris Hawkins, senior 6'3" forward. Jumper by Wrestler on the inbounds from the right corner. No good. Rebound cleared by Hope. Both teams doing a good job on the defensive board. One and done. Triple try for the top off the front of the rim. No. Battle for the rebound. And here comes on the break ahead. Wrestler up and under, finishes. Nice assist that time on the lead by Sensenig.
Yeah, nice transition right there by Calvin University, and Hope settling for those deep threes the last couple possessions, leading to runouts for Calvin.
TJ McKenzie from 17, no. Rebound ripped down by Owen Barnado, freshman out of Western Michigan Christian. Here's another freshman in Wrestler. We talked about the youth of Calvin, off to a great start. Bill Saul's got to be thrilled. 8-4 in the early going. So they get it to Overway. Overway trying to back down Cheney. Nice spin on the baseline. Goes up strong. No. And they're going to call Cheney with a foul. Looked pretty clean up top, partner, but I think he got him with a body.
Yeah, just the size and strength right there of Jalen Overway, just too much. And, you know, for his size, pretty quick and agile. Take that ball from that short corner and got that defender in a bad position. Let's see if he can knock him down from the free throw line.
6'9", got some good size to him, and he comes in averaging 19 points per game, 10 rebounds. That not only leads his club, that leads the entire MIAA, and he's not even halfway through his freshman year, partner.
Yeah, nice soft touch right there. I don't think Coach Saul expected this. I know he had high expectations from Jalen Overway, but exceeding those through his first 13 games of his freshman campaign. And talking to Coach Saul, still thinks he has a lot to give. Obviously, it's just a freshman kind of learning on the fly, being thrown in the fire, and that's the best way to learn.
Overway gets them both. We saw him when he was a junior in high school, and bigger at that time. They worked on his frame to get more athletic, but had the hands, had the footwork, and now we're going to have
a little cheap one right there on Overway, just kind of running through the screen.
Yep. Call him with a block, but playing defense.
And nice job by Dykhouse holding his ground there against the bigger Overway, and that's a key if they can get him on the bench. Obviously, talked about his gaudy stats so far this season, 19 and 10. Get him on the bench.
Warman to McKenzie for 3, right in front of the Calvin bunch. No, but nice job digging out the rebound. That was Harris Hawkins. They'll reset with Dykhouse between the circles. Shot clock down to 14. Handoff out top. Hawkins kicks left side. McKenzie working against Varnado. Lost his footing and lost the ball. Traveled on the kick out. Egekeza. Greg Mitchell wanted to foul. And he'll be back with the Hope Flying Dutchmen. 12:52 left to go first half. It's been a defensive battle, to say the least. I think a little nerves, a little jitters.
I love the intensity. Owen Varnado coming in the game, setting the tone on the defensive end, not known for his scoring, but certainly an athlete, good-sized frame for just a freshman, and getting that Calvin student section fired up.
McKenzie trying to find the Shot on the three, left it short again off the front rim. Rebound, Calvin. Knights come in at 10-3 overall, 2-0 in conference play. Won both games last week and ranked number 24 in the country. The D3Hoops.com top 25 poll. Is going baseline, cut off, spins. Nice job right around Hawkins on the finish. Using his size at 6'6" was Marcus Bolt.
Yeah, and really, I mean, again, Overway hanging out top and no shot blocker, rim protector in there. So those drives, direct drives to the basket are wide open right now for Calvin.
Boy, Hope is off from three. Warman can't get that one dialed up. Rebound cleared again. One and done for the young Calvin Knights. Crossover, trying to attack down the lane, but lost the handle and off his knee out of bounds. Off of Marcus Bolt. And that'll get us to our second media timeout. 11:54 left to go first half. We got a good one. Calvin on the road leads at 12-4 over Hope. We'll come back with more on the Hope Sports Network.
Give the gift of flowers from Heisman Flowers, offering green plants, tabletop centerpieces, and breathtaking floral arrangements of all different shapes, sizes, and colors. Celebrate your next event with us or give a gift to that special someone. Offering nationwide same-day flower delivery. Visit us online at HeismanFlowers.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Seth Palmer, an ears, nose, and throat physician at Michigan ENT and Allergy Specialist and a 2002 graduate of Hope College.
And I'm Dr. Rich Straving, a fellow ear, nose, and throat physician at Michigan ENT and Allergy Specialist and a 1996 graduate of Calvin University.
Hope fan
or Calvin fan,
we are on the same team serving your needs.
With 6 locations throughout West Michigan,
we've got your medical concerns covered.
Hey fans, don't forget to stay with us at halftime. I'm going to have a sit down with the president here at Hope College, Matt Scogan. We'll be talking about Hope forward and also what it means to him and what you love about the Hope-Calvin rivalry. It's really a great rivalry between the two institutions. And again, Holland and Grand Rapids, 30 miles separates them. And boy, you and I know, just going through the building tonight, we've got alums on both sides. A lot of pride in this one.
You took the words out of my mouth. Pride is a great way to explain it, partner. And Calvin playing with some pride here tonight, coming onto the enemy territory, and after losing all 3 last year, coming out focused and fired up. 12-4 to start this game, doing it on the defensive end, which they've done all year, holding their opponents to 38% shooting so far this season, and really making it hard on the Flying Dutchmen right now.
Boy, coming out of the media timeout, high screen from Quillen. Dykhouse got all over the rim, but couldn't finish with a left hand. The Calvin again getting the defensive rebound. Brings it back the other way. Shot clock down to 12, Overway out top. Left side for 3, nothing but nylon. Knocking it down, Marcus Bolt. That's back-to-back buckets for the junior forward.
And Bolt, really that leader, vocal guy, does a little bit of everything for Coach Saul's team, and a good sign seeing that 3 ball go down. Going to open up the inside even more for Jalen Overway.
Hope down 11 now. Quillen underneath, can't finish, rolls off the back of the rim. Bolt with the rebound. Outlets it, Tegakeza. He's matched up with Dykhouse. Comes off a high Overway screen, right side. Now leaves it for the big man. Not necessarily as much of a three-point shooter as his counterpart Quillen for Hope. But the lead is 11. Overway backing down Quillen. Up and under step through, trying to finish with the right hand. Does. Just muscled his way that time against his 6'9 counterpart.
And what patience for the freshman. I mean, he gave him the head fake, step through, and then the feathery touch to get it up on the rim. No answer right now.
Triple try. McKenzie from the right side. Hits twice in the front rim, but short. Tegakeza with the rebound. Now battle for it as he lost the handle. And it's going to be last touch by Hope College. A little bit of a danger zone here near the halfway point of the first half, partner. 17-4. The lead is growing to 13 in favor of Calvin.
Not the start Coach Mitchell wanted out of his ball club. Really flat, kind of the deer in the headlights look right now. And if you're Hope, you got to find a way to get some momentum back on your side, get that student section going, get to the basket, get to the foul line, see that basket ball go through the hoop, and change this momentum. But right now it's all Calvin.
Wow, textbook there. Overway left block, backing down and then finishes with a left-handed skyhook off the window, and that's going to force a Greg Mitchell timeout.
That's just way too easy. If you're going to give the big fella the ball with 2 feet on the block, I mean, he's going to score 9 times out of 10. And great move, great execution right now from Coach Saul's ball club.
30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here, Drew. And this is one of the things that I wanted to touch on a little bit with Hope College, where it's been a unique year for them. They're 7-6 coming in, 1-1 in conference play. Now, they just got the All-American back to start conference play last week, but both games are on the road. They lose their conference opener to Trine, a good ball club, in double overtime. Evan Thomas had to play 37 minutes in that game. Talked to Greg Mitchell before the game. He didn't want to do that, but obviously they needed his leadership. They needed him out here. You know, they needed to get some things going because they knew Calvin was right around the corner. They lose that game, 89-84, but then they come back in a nice win at Olivet, another good club, 71-68 on Saturday, leading into this one. So just the third game back for Evan Thomas, but you can see right now they're out of sorts a little bit chemistry-wise.
Yeah, and they've had a lot of injuries just outside of Thomas as well, and we talked about it. I mean, that chemistry, all right? There's not a lot of flow on the offensive end, guys trying to figure out their roles. When you lose your leading scorer, one of the top players in the country, other guys had to step up and play a new role. Now they're trying to adjust back with their superstar back on the floor.
After that bucket by Overway, 19-4, Calvin. Just under the halfway point first half. Quillen, left block, will back his way down. Here comes the help. Nice job, and they get the steal. Quillen was late trying to get rid of it. Off the bench to dig out that steal was Dane Harvey. Coach's son out of Forest Hills Eastern. Steve Harvey in the house. We saw him. Longtime head coach at Forest Hills Northern. And by the way, he could play back in the day at GVSU. Egakeza spins on TJ, and yes! Over McKenzie and the foul. How about that? Some athleticism on both sides, but what a finish with the left hand by the product out of Chicago.
And Egakeza, I mean, he is having his way in the paint off the bounce, and no answers. Hope has to shrink those gaps, force Calvin to knock down some perimeter shots, but they are scoring at will inside the paint by their veteran Egakeza.
Every minute that they continue to add to their lead, you can just see the confidence growing in this young Calvin club. 15 foul, by the way, on the board for Hope. A lot of them have been shooting fouls already, so Calvin taking the bonus opportunity with that, as free throw up and good by Egakeza to complete the three-point play. Just 2 fouls on the board for Calvin. And by the way, Egakeza, leading scorer out there for the Knights, was 7. Overway was 6.
Talking to Coach Saul, he was a little worried about his young ball club coming into a hostile environment, how they were going to handle the emotions, hostility of the crowd, and they've certainly answered the bell here so far in this game, and up to a commanding lead halfway through this first half.
Cheney back in, Dykhouse, Warman, Thomas, and Wiggerink, and now jumper by Warman way off the mark, too strong. Overway with the rebound. And they're going to take your pick, either Wiggerink or Cheney coming in. You hope it's Cheney because Wiggerink's already got 2. And it will be against Devin Cheney. That's his second. Wiggerink's got 2. 16 foul on the board for the Flying Dutchmen.
And again, a really hard contested mid-range jump shot there by Hope. Nothing coming in the flow of the offense, right? A lot of one-on-one, put your head down, and if you're going to crawl back into this game, you can't do it one-on-one. You got to do it possession by possession. And as you talked about, danger zone right here as they approach a 20-point deficit.
How about this, Drew? We've played over 11 minutes and only 4 points offensively on the board for Hope. Trying to back down Cheney. Turns with a right-handed hook. No. Too strong off the back iron by the big fellow Overway. Rebound cleared by Hope. Evan Thomas dribbles it up right in front of us near sideline. Going to the paint. Got it stripped. Hands everywhere. And another steal coming up. That's Dane Harvey.
Swarming that basketball. Active hands there by Calvin. Just playing with more energy. There's no other way to put it. Calvin is bringing the fight to Hope right now.
Egakeza with the finish. Got by Dykhouse, who was trying to go for the steal. Egakeza leading on scores with 9. He wants the basketball right now. Thomas got a free look. Hasn't had many of them. Can't finish. Way off the mark there. Rebound cleared. Egakeza up ahead, but nice step in steal. Warman. Hope's got a chance now in transition. They get it to Thomas, the middle of the floor. And Thomas to the right elbow. Block going to be called. Just a half step late trying to come over and draw the charge that time was Eli Sensenate. At the 7:50 mark, and that'll take us to another media timeout. The lead is 24-4, Calvin over Hope here at DeVos Fieldhouse. 7:50 left to go. We'll step aside with a media timeout as well, as you're watching all the action live right here on the Hope Sports Network.
Yeah, my name is Travis Williams. I'm the CEO of the ODC Network. I graduated from Hope in 1998. I studied biology, and then I also played football. In order to be successful, people really need more than just the academic experience, but they need people to come alongside them and help them, coach them, mentor them. I find that Hope College has just been one of the best examples of being able to do that anywhere.
As an invested community partner, LVZ is proud to help share Hope stories of transformational impact.
Brett Bakita along with Drew Knight, so welcome you back to DeVos Fieldhouse, and we want to thank our great Rivalry sponsors bringing you the Rivalry Series tonight on the men's side. First go around of the regular season. Drew and I will have the call for all four. We had the first women's game at Van Noort Arena back at Calvin University in late November. Now our first men's game, and then we've got back-to-back games mid-February coming up. We'll be back at Calvin next, and our Rivalry sponsors tonight helping us with our broadcast sound off Signal, MVP as you just saw, Heisman Flowers, Michigan ENT, and BioLife. Well, we just talked about during the break that didn't see this one coming. And Calvin, one of the things that you would point to at 10-3 is just 2-3 on the road coming in this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to win. And I mean, it doesn't get any more difficult than this type of environment and this type of rivalry game. And hasn't faced him one bit.
Hope going to their All-American, but stripped by Agakeza. Good knockaway. Evan Thomas checking that finger. Remember, he's got coming back from the broken finger. It's taped up heavily, and it got slapped there with the ball knockaway by Agakeza in the post. Seems to be all right, and now Calvin losing out the other end, so it'll go back to Hope. They dodge a bullet there as Dykhouse going to come out. And in for the first time tonight for head coach Greg Mitchell in the lineup is Ethan Crabtree, 6'4" freshman out of Coldwater.
Yeah, but again, those active hands by Calvin, I mean, just doing the job on the defensive end, and that's where it starts. They're getting stops, getting out, and turning it into buckets on the offensive end, and just no momentum. You see Calvin huddling up there. Hope, no huddle, right? The guys are separated, and just the communication, they're not on the same page at this point.
What a bonus for Bill Saul. He can buy Overway some time on the bench. They go smaller. Matt Ambrose, the sophomore guard, 6'2" out of Killdeer, Illinois. Adley Stevenson high, checking in for the first time tonight. And they'll go with Cheney down low. Defensively, guarding him is Marcus Bolts, who goes 6'6". Out top, TJ Mitchell. Let's see if he can get going. Explosive to the rack and finishes nicely. Elevated with the left hand. Got that one to drop.
Yeah, that was their guy when Thomas was out. He really stepped up, TJ McKenzie, and they're going to need some more of that to get back into this ball game.
Averaging just under 13 points per game. He's had some looks at the three. Hasn't been able to knock it down. Maybe that'll get him going, and it now sets up some full court pressure by Hope. Mitchell out on the top of that, but they break it. Get it into the corner. Ambrose back out top. They'll reset with the shot clock at 15. 24-6 now, and now McKenzie a near steal, hitting the deck, trying to get out of there is Bolt. They tie him up. And let's see, possession arrow going to favor Hope. Sometimes, you know, back in your playing days, especially in an old Michigan State rivalry game that you played in, a turnover, a key bucket, just something to get that spark and get it going, right?
And that's what they need right now, just something, right? Somebody's got to kind of take the bull by the horns and take this game over if you're Hope, right? Get a couple buckets. Put a little bit of pressure on Calvin. Right now, things are just coming too easy and not a lot of game pressure on them at this point.
Sometimes your offense getting going can help your defensive intensity. Evan Thomas down low. Good job by Agakeza defensively. Swinging around the horn, and now another foul. Bolts. Just too tough a matchup with Cheney, and he's going to have to come out now. That's going to be two quick ones. Bolt comes out, and back with the big man, Jalen Overway. Bill Saul fired up. be back at his alma mater. Again, stints at Ferris State were very successful. Then up at Northern Michigan, coming back home.
Yeah, played against Coach Saul, I believe, when he was at Ferris, Michigan State, a couple exhibition games, and knows the game inside and out. And heck of a player back in his own right.
Over 2,000 points in his career at Calvin. Triple try, good look by McKenzie. Can't get it to drop. Egekeza with a rebound for Calvin. Into the front court. We roll under 6 minutes left to go first half. 24-6 Calvin. Wrestler back in there. Kicks it over. In the corner, extra touch, Varnado. And he knocks it down. Owen Varnado, the freshman out of Western Michigan Christian.
And Varnado, not a guy who's a huge scoring threat, but shot that one with confidence. Everything going right for Calvin right now. And a little kiss to the student section there from Varnado.
How about the block by Egekeza? Went up to get that one with Cheney. And that fired up the Calvin student section to our left, right in front of them. And now a foul against Hope on the breakout. I tell you what, I love the athleticism. Uchenna Egekeza out of Huntley, Illinois, Huntley School. Athlete at 6'4" at the guard position. Pretty good handle. You mentioned they don't have a true point guard in the essence like you would have been back in the day, but they get it done. They certainly have some guys that can handle the rock and know what to do with it.
And at this level, I mean, their backcourt, I mean, you got Wrestler at 6'3", 6'4", Egekeza with, you know, a good frame, 6'4", long, lanky arms, and bring in Harvey off the bench, who goes about 6'3", 6'4", so good size in that backcourt for Coach Saul.
Gotta love those grit guys, right? Bring in a guy like Dane Harvey, sophomore. Wrestler is kind of a grit guy that can score. Also got some minutes from Ambrose as Egekeza gets them both.
Well, this is a key stretch here for Hope. You got coming down 5 minutes. You got to try to get this to, you know, maybe a 15-point game going into the locker room. If they can go on a little run, get some momentum going into halftime.
There it is again. Harvey forcing a jump ball. All he's done since he's come in, 2 steals, and now that's like a steal with a turnover because possession arrow favors Calvin. Great job doubling the post as they fed it down the block to Cheney.
And I mean, this is a remarkable defensive performance. I mean, 6 points for Hope, who averages 73 per game this season. So, I mean, and there's no let up from Calvin right now. They are smelling a little blood in the water early in this game.
And this is where it helps to have so many good guards that can handle the ball. When you do get some pressure, they break it easy. Now they look over to Coach Saul, calls out the play right in front of us. 29-6, Calvin by 23 as we go under 5 minutes left to go first half. And the Knights doing it on the road here in this rivalry. Down low to Overway. Just spinning baseline too much for Cheney. Has to reach in and commit the foul.
Yeah, and they might have to start sending the double team there.
Right.
And I mean, Overway, they've actually done a pretty good job on the big foul. Only 6 points in this first half, but it's been everybody else, right? I mean, a balanced attack for Calvin. And I mean, how do you can't really double team because the other guys are playing well in this first half too.
Well, and they're crashers too. He's a good passer as a big man, and they're diving towards the rim. So it's not necessarily like he's kicking out for threes. You have to watch him going back door as Overway. Not the prettiest of free throws, but he gets it to drop. And I tell you what, physically, he's just tough to match up with because Cheney and Quillen don't have the size or girth that Overway has, and he's using that well to his advantage.
He's going to be a force for years to come. I mean, he's just still growing into his body, and
right.
He hits the weight room a little bit. I mean, plays hard, plays tough.
He's got 8 now. Father Jeff played here at Calvin, so he's a legacy recruit. They were so happy to get him. Egekeza with a knockaway. The last touch by Calvin, so Evan Thomas can go in the backcourt to retrieve it. Got to watch the shot clock now, down to 13. High screen, Thomas. Again, look at the quick hands. Calvin knocking it away, and now Evan Thomas going to be called for the trip after the steal. Greg Mitchell saying, how about a foul? But I tell you what, I think it's just been scrappy D by Calvin. They've had hands everywhere, bothering Hope all night long.
Like they always say, the more aggressive team, the more physical team usually gets the benefit of the doubt with the whistle. And I mean, that's their game plan, active hands. They've had a number of steals, tips, deflections, and
how about this stat? You look up 19 foul for Hope, and they only have 6 points on the board. They've got 3 more fouls than they do points in the first half. As the first free throw up and good by the sophomore Dane Harvey out of Forest Hills Eastern. Special thanks, by the way. It's always more than just the game, the atmosphere and everything around this series, whoever hosted. But we want to thank the City of Holland Police Department, Honor Guard, presenting the national anthem tonight here to start our game and broadcast. Second free throw was good by Harvey. Now a block, dribble drive baseline by McKenzie, and the defender just a half step late on that one, trying to stop him going baseline. And I tell you what, there's going to be a lot to talk about if you're Greg Mitchell at halftime. 4:18 left to go, 33-6.
Well, there's certainly some execution things I think they could do better, a little bit more ball movement, not so much one-on-one creating off the bounce, but I mean, really it just comes down to fighting, scrapping, and clawing. I mean, they're just getting outworked right now, and give the credit where credit's due to Calvin.
Speaking of an unusual year, and we talked about kind of a unique circumstance for Hope with their record coming in. You know, with that win at Olivet last Saturday, they snapped a 4-game losing streak. I mean, it's not too often that either one of these teams goes through a 4-game losing streak, whether it's conference or non-conference. First free throw no good by Quinlan. Harris Hawkins will check out. Back in for him is Marcus Warman, freshman out of the capital city, East Lansing High for Hope. They had a tough one over the holidays here at DeVos Fieldhouse against Babson, where Hope ended up losing without, obviously, their All-American Evan Thomas in the lineup, then to Babson 83-60. But nothing like this.
A little sarcastic cheer there from the Hope faithful. It's been a long scoring drought here for Hope without a bucket, and this fan base from Hope, they're fired up pregame. The place was rocking, and they're just looking for something to get on their feet about.
Got the first one, missed the second one short. 33-7 our score. Calvin with the basketball in the lead. Between the circles, they set up shop. Get it left side. Getting a lot of minutes right now is Owen Varnado, the freshman. A steal, though, by McKenzie. Leave for Thomas, who finishes, elevates to the left hand. He wanted to foul, no call. Good feed by McKenzie. And here we go, the Duke crew starting to get into it. See if Hope can force a turnover now. Little 2-1-2, full court pressure. Wrestler almost stripped from behind by Dykhouse. Now brings in the front court. Egakeza, and they'll set up shop with 17 seconds left on the shot clock. Back in there is Bolt with those two personals. He's matched up with Thomas. Varnado for three. Wow. Owen Varnado deep. He's feeling it, partner.
He is. And you look at Coach Saul, just a laugh right there, because Varnado, not known as a deadly knockdown shooter, but 2 for 2 tonight from beyond the arc and playing with a lot of confidence, a lot of intensity.
Trying to D up with Quillen, who's got the size advantage there. And Quillen, nice job, just body his way down for an easy half hook. Gets it to go. Quillen with 5. Varnado off the bench with 6 for those 2 triples. Stay with us at halftime as now Bill Saul going to take a timeout with 2:39 left to go. We'll see if we're going to stay here. It's a 30-second timeout. I mentioned at the half, lots to talk about, and I'm going to be joined by Hope College President Drew Scogan. Anxious to talk about Hope College, by the way, is one of the few colleges experiencing record enrollment right now. Excited about that, and we'll see what their kind of key secret ingredient is for that, with students having a lot of different choices. But Hope Forward is one of those great programs we'll talk about with the president. And, you know, Drew, I was just thinking about this driving over because we had the announcement, and in our last women's game, I had Jim Timmer, the athletic director from Calvin, on, talking about, of course, they had just announced a football team. Now they have a head coach. They're going to have a press conference next week at Calvin to announce him. If this is what it looks like for basketball, what's the first Hope Calvin football game going to look like in 2024, coming soon?
I want to invite to that tailgate, because that's going to be a good time. But you talk about record enrollment here. I mean, how about the facilities? I mean, that has to have something to do with it. I mean, both Calvin University, Hope College, fantastic facilities and thriving universities. But yeah, awesome scene here. Fantastic setup here.
We just were handed by Alan Babbitt, SID at Hope here, who is helping us out with our broadcast tonight. Fewest points for Hope in a half here at DeVos Fieldhouse, 21 back in 2005 against Lakeland, Wisconsin, and 2008 versus Aquinas. And right now, with 2:39 left, 10 below that at 11.
not a record that you want to set during a rivalry game, but the game isn't over, right? I mean, there's some things they can certainly correct. They're starting to, these last couple trips, they've got some momentum, a couple steals, gotten out in transition. I mean, they just scored 4 or 5 points here in the last 2 minutes, and they scored 6 in the first 13.
Egekeza around Dykhouse, who was going for the steal again, and what a finish. Just drops it through right at the rim. He's got 13 to lead all scores. Now on the defensive end, answers with a tip away. It'll stay with Hope to our left. But that's what we're talking about. It's a perfect example right there of when your offense leads to better defense as a player. There was Egekeza.
And that's where it's got to start for Hope, right? I mean, they're going to give up well over 40 points here in this first half. And on your home floor in a rivalry game, that just cannot happen. I mean, obviously the pain on the offensive end, but the defense hasn't been much better.
Quillen can't get the right hook baseline spin to go. Varnado with the rebound, drives down the lane, got it stolen by Warman. They've got numbers now if they hurry. 3-on-3, Warman down the lane, left hand can't finish. Might have got bumped, but no call by Luca Ressler. Rebound cleared by Calvin and Bolt. Oh, Warman was trying to give him a little energy there, get this crowd fired up and into it. You and I have seen crazier things, partner, over the years with this one. It's never done until the final buzzer sounds, that's for sure. 1:37 left to go first half. Shot clock down to 10. Egekeza between the rings, dancing with the dribble with McKenzie. Wants to go left side, bumped. Fadeaway jumper is good. Everything's falling tonight for number 0.
On pace for a career night, and what a night to have it. Uchenna Egekeza coming to play here in this first half.
Out of Huntley, Illinois, he's got 15, and now stripped again is Quinlan, frustrated down the post. Throw out ahead to Ressler, puts it up and in. Off the feed from the sophomore Dane Harvey, 42-11. Calvin leads it, 1:04 left to go here first half. Dykhouse, who's been quiet tonight in the front court. Out of Zeeland East High, just down the road. Gets it to Warman. Over a high screen, maybe that gets him going. Just a 2 foot on the line. Coming off the screen from Quinlan, who gets up a little gingerly that time. It looked like he tweaked his ankle. Full court pressure after the make. 2-2-1 for Hope. Final 40 seconds. Let's see if the Flying Dutchmen get a spurt. Nice job. Harvey brings in the front court. Now a strip steal by TJ McKenzie. Oh, couldn't quite stay in bounds after the steal knockaway, so it'll go back to Calvin. Checking in before the half now. Trevin Winkle, the freshman, had a nice outing last time out of McBain Northern Michigan Christian. He'll come in for the final 34.9 seconds. Look at all the freshmen out there. Ressler, Varnado. That's a lot of respect in their play from their head coach Bill Saul, putting them in. Again, stay with us at halftime. I'll have a one-on-one conversation with Matt Skogan, Hope College president. Is now a foul. And again, it was Egekeza. They just kind of cleared out on the attack that time.
Yeah, he gets to that right hand. He's almost unguardable, right? He gets downhill, kind of uses his size to elevate over the defender and puts him in a bad position to have to foul and reach. But haven't really seen him attack to the left. I mean, if you're Hope, you gotta keep him away from that right hand.
Got that explosive first step, leaping ability to finish, and just athletic. As checking out of the lineup, here is Hawkins for Coach Mitchell. Back in for the Flying Dutchman, Evan Thomas. Now Ambrose in. Winkle will check out. 20.5 seconds left first half. 42-13 Calvin by 29 over Hope. And what's funny about this is the 280 meeting. It's 107-100 in favor of Hope. I mean, you get down to it's like 100 points difference entirety.
Yeah, and you look at the stats, you know, not just the scoring, but extremely tight rivalry, and that's why it's one of the best.
Egekeza, final 4 seconds, pull up from 3. Got it! Over Dykhouse, and the buzzer sounds. 18. As he heads to the locker room, that's your guy, the junior forward, Uchenna Egekeza. As Calvin heads to the locker room, fired up, 45-13.
I mean, Calvin couldn't do anything wrong. I mean, credit to them. I mean, Hope didn't have their A game, but Calvin certainly came out to play. Coach Mitchell's going to have to make some adjustments and get his team going here to come out in this second half.
Stay with us. Coming up at halftime, we've got a special video for you from Hope College, and also my conversation courtside with Hope College president Matt Scogan. That's when we return. Stay with us. It's 45-13 Calvin over Hope at the break, and you're watching all the action live tonight here on the Hope Sports Network.
Building your dream home, buying a fixer-upper, or downsizing, the process can feel overwhelming. Let the local team at Lighthouse Title help the closing process be one less worry. Just ask your real estate professional or lender to close at Lighthouse Title. To learn more about how we are involved in our 35 communities or to ask us any questions about the process, visit us online at lighthousetitle.net.
My name is Megan Bigelow, and during my time there I was on the Hope women's soccer team. I decided to choose Hope because of the opportunity to be involved in multiple things. I didn't want to go somewhere where I was just a number in the field. I was able to double major, experience both a business academic load as well as economics. I loved the opportunity to really get to know my professors. Hope exceeded my expectations.
I'm Nate Bauman. As an invested community partner, we're proud to help share Hope's stories of transformational impact.
Trips in the past, but never one that incorporates sports into service. Each day we would go to a different school that Push to Rock had partnered with, and so we would play games with the kids and teach them about our sports, which was really cool, and then we would share a faith story with them, and then it was really awesome. After you would share your story, these kids would just gravitate towards you.
From the moment we got to the Dominican and met the leaders of GO, I knew that this ministry was something special. They really emphasized their partnership and community with the Dominican people. They emphasized that they are not there as this outside organization to be the savior, fix things. Every position in GO is co-led by an American and a Dominican.
The relationship part was pretty cool. I am definitely super close with the whole group. Now we're doing like a Bible study. I could totally see some of them being like my best friends.
Because I'm introverted, going into a trip with other strangers, like that was very interesting to me. Getting to know people isn't really in my comfort zone. So kind of being forced to know these people really helped. And I've learned that I can be personable with people I don't know, and I can make relationships with people, relationships that are still strong.
On our trip, I feel like we grew really close really quickly, which everybody said would happen, but it was crazy how fast it really did happen. Like, my heart has so much joy when I see the people I went on my trip with, and it's been cool to see athletes do well in their sports and just bond over the same thing that we shared.
You kind of already have that unspoken connection with other student athletes on campus, but I never could have imagined the extent of the bonding that would happen on that trip. Coming back to campus, I have a whole nother group of friends. Those are my people.
I'd say that soccer was the language between us on the team and the kids. If we had a soccer ball, like, we didn't even need to say anything.
Even though a lot of us didn't speak their language, it was cool to use sports as like a platform for God's kingdom, and you can use that to communicate with the kids.
At least once a day we would have worship. It's like different, but it's really cool. A lot of dancing, a lot of singing, so kind of similar to chapel, but taking a few notches higher.
Half of the team went to the school for kids with physical disabilities, and I honestly didn't really know what to expect. What I experienced that day, nobody could have told me how good and how fun it would have been.
At each school we would go to, we would take water filters for the communities, and we would demonstrate them and teach them how to assemble the water filters. And then when we were doing that, we would say the unfiltered water is like your life before Christ, and the filtered water is like your life after Christ, and because of God, now you have new life. And ultimately, like, water is the gift of life to them, because it's something that they don't have, that we often forget and take for granted.
The looks on their faces as the water dripped out of the filter, and then drinking the water knowing that it's clean is definitely something that we all will never forget.
If we look back about a year ago, with my faith was just like, I guess like questioning, like prodding around, just trying to learn more.
My faith before going on a sea trip, I would say, was pretty stagnant. I would go to church and I'd go to chapel, but I felt like I needed something more.
Like I was kind of coasting, like nothing bad was happening. I didn't have a very significant reason to like count on God, but I just knew He was always there.
After the trip, I felt like I had this spiritual high and just this connection with God that I never wanted to lose. I never want to not feel that way again.
After, I just saw like how blessed I am and how blessed I am to have a relationship with Christ and with God.
Even with like all the hardships that they were going on, they were able to see it through like the light of God and always be like grateful for what they had and things like that. So prospectively, it was like wow, like we should take a little bit of that away and be just grateful in general.
A lot of the kids play with soccer balls that are absolutely destroyed, but it still brings them so much joy, and they complain about nothing. And a lot of times, like, we place so much value on materialistic things when ultimately, like, we don't need that. They have so much joy with having so little, and so it's cool to see God in a different aspect that way.
The biggest thing I'm bringing back, and it's something that I think about a lot on the women's soccer team, is it's so much more than soccer. Sports is so much more than sports. It's about high-fiving your teammate when they make a good play. It's about putting your arm around them when they're down, lifting each other up, celebrating. And it was just really, really neat to travel so far into literally the middle of nowhere and see God at work.
For those who don't have as strong a faith with Christ or do not have a lot of background in service, I'd say that this is your chance to take a leap of faith.
Biggest thing I say is just go. Think about the next time you might go, or if you will ever go to a spot like that.
For those who have never been on a mission trip before, like, God will use you where you're at, and it's also a really great opportunity to bond with other athletes and to create friendships that will last you for the rest of your life, because you all share an experience that no one else has.
I'd say don't be nervous about where you are in your faith, whether you're all into it or you're not at all or you're somewhere in the middle. Not intimidating. Faith aspect is always around you. Like, you're always able to reach out into it, but it's also not like pushed onto you.
If you've never been on a mission trip ever before, there's no better time than right now to do it than college. When you're learning who you are, when you're learning who God wants you to be, this is the time to step outside of your comfort zone and do it. God teaches us so much when you stop thinking about yourself and look towards other people. And that's exactly what Seed does.
Welcome back live to DeVos Fieldhouse here at halftime, and I'm pleased to be joined. I love the orange shoes, if we can get a shot of that.
Yeah, thanks.
He's got
I'm
the
on
colors
brand
tonight.
I'm on brand.
He is Hope College president, now in his 4th year. Time
That's
flies
right.
when you're having fun, but Matt Scogan is joining us. And President Scogan, first and foremost, thank you so much. But you can see, and you have over your years, what this rivalry is like. It's so awesome.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me on. You guys do a great job with the broadcast, so thanks for doing this. Yeah, this rivalry, there's nothing like it, I think. Nothing in college athletics, nothing in professional athletics. It's just amazing, the energy in the room, and to have a rivalry that has endured through time like this one has, over 100 years. And what's amazing is these two teams have played each other now 208 times. Coming into tonight, almost dead even. We were ahead by 65 points total overall, out of like 28,000 total points scored. So, a rivalry over 100 years and a really dead heat. So hopefully we'll turn this one around. If not, we'll give them a little bit. They'll close the gap a little bit on that 65 points. But it's a lot of fun. I love this rivalry.
I love the students. Both student sections are great. You got a new scoreboard that you're debuting tonight.
Awesome. Yeah.
And one of the things I got to ask you about, because since you've taken over, you came
came through, and one of the things you announced you were excited to get going was Hope Forward. We'll talk about that in a minute, but Hope right now is going through a great enrollment burst, and as you know, in secondary education, that's not something that's common right now across the country for colleges and universities. What has been the key for you guys?
Yeah, thanks for the question. We're really proud that Hope just has momentum right now. We feel like God's moving here, and people want to be part of this community. I think for us, it's really a combination of world-class academics, and we're in the top 50 nationally for both teaching and research. Excellent co-curriculars and athletics and great facilities, and all that combined with a vibrant faith environment. And our faith environment is an invitational one, so it's based on opportunities, not requirements. And we just feel like all of that together makes for a really transformational experience. And of course, I always point to our name. I love our name, Hope. We're one of the only institutions in the country that's not named after a person or a place, and that embodies so much of who we are as an institution.
Now, it has been commonplace to hear the phrase in the last 5 years or so, pay it forward.
Yeah, right.
But you have Hope Forward, and when I heard this at first, I'm like, okay, I kind of understand it. Explain what Hope Forward is, and you now have students that are taking advantage of this program.
We've got students who are part of this. So we went into this and said, let's see if we can solve the puzzle of the business model of higher education. And in my view, the rising cost of higher education is one of the biggest societal problems we have today. And the whole idea of Hope Forward is, what if we could have a pay-it-forward model for funding your education? So instead of paying up front through tuition and debt, which is how most students pay it, what if you could pay after and pay through gifts rather than paying up front through tuition and debt? And so that's the overall idea. One way to think about that is, once we're living into it, it'd be like a crowd-funded model, so that our alumni would be crowd-funding our current students. I think about it also in theological terms. It's a very Christian way of thinking about a business model. It's how churches are funded. No one pays an entrance fee to go to church. Right. You fund a church through gifts. And so we're saying, what if we could fund a Christian education that way? So yeah, as you noted, we've got a small group of students, about 60 students, who are piloting this for us. Our ambition is eventually to roll it out to the whole college, but that's going to take some time because we've got to raise some money to kickstart that. But we decided to go ahead and start piloting it, and we're learning a lot. So stay tuned. We'll keep you posted, but we're learning a lot. I think the most interesting thing we've learned so far is that these students are actually taking their education more seriously, not less. And some people said it would be the opposite. Some people said, oh, this feels like free education. They might not take their education as seriously. Well, that's not the case. They've made this commitment to give their money after they graduate, and that personal investment means that they feel the weight of that and they're taking their education seriously. So we think it's actually a better business model and will lead to a healthier learning environment. So we're pumped. We're excited about it, and we're going to have Malcolm Gladwell coming to our campus on March 9th to do a full summit. He's going to do a podcast on this idea, so we're excited. We're really excited.
Congratulations.
Thanks for asking about it. Yeah, thanks.
Great forward thinking. Hope Forward. He is president of Hope College. Matthew Scogan joined us. I think you got to go talk to Greg Mitchell and the guys at halftime of the Library.
Here they come.
Right?
Yeah, let's get them pumped up. Okay.
All right.
Thanks so much for having me on. You're amazing.
Thank you very much. Hey, we've got more to come. We'll come back. I'll rejoin Drew Knight, so courtside for the second half, as you're watching all the action right here on the Hope Sports Network.
There are over 5,000 colleges and universities in the United States alone, and nearly every single one of them is named after a location or a historical figure. But along the shores of Lake Michigan, there is a school whose namesake is not a founder, not a historical figure, not a state, city, or physical landmark. It is named after an ideal, a virtue, a way of life. Its name is hope. It is so easy to get lost in what this world lacks, to become discouraged by its needs, gaps, and flaws. Can we see beyond the uncertainty and brokenness? At Hope College, we do. Not by ignoring the world as it is, but by learning and living with the belief that this is not the world as it should be, by driving to understand, to unlock clarity, to amplify truth, by leading with inspired compassion, by embodying a vision that illuminates greater opportunity for all, by serving with anchored conviction, using our collective gifts to offer this world what it needs most. Hope. Not simply hope as a desire, but hope as a way of being. Because hope has changed the way we see the world, and hope drives us to change the way the world is. Because hope shapes our calling. Because hope inspires our dreams. Because hope empowers our talents. Because hope frees us to try. Because hope transforms what we believe, transforms how we act, transforms who we are. At Hope College, we know this life-altering grace is a gift we have all been given, and it is the greatest gift we can offer the world. Hope transforms.
Well, we are just about set for the second half. Welcome back courtside to Voss Fieldhouse. Some work to be done for the Flying Dutchmen. And what a first half for Calvin. Let's take a look at the individual numbers. 45-13, the Knights lead at the break. And here's my partner, Drew Knight. So what stands out to you, partner?
It's really been the Uchenna Egekeza show. I mean, 7 for 7 from the floor. Knocked down his only 3 there at the buzzer beater going into the halftime locker room. 3 of 6 from the free throw line. 18 points, 7 rebounds. Really unstoppable. Jalen Overway, 8 and 7 in that first half. 2 leading scorers for Hope, Evan Thomas, TJ McKenzie, just 2 points apiece in that first half. They got to get it going on the offensive end.
Down low, Hope has it, gets it down to Wiggerink. Got his second attempt blocked. First one was short. Now they get a reset. Quinlan trying to go up against, turns with a half hook and gets it to go over Jalen Overway. Let's see if that gets Gabe Quinlan going. The product out of Grand Rapids Catholic Central, the sophomore.
Yeah, good start. I like going into the big fella, get some confidence, see that ball go in the hole, not rely on those outside jump shots.
There's his former teammate, Luca Ressler, short on the jumper, battle for the rebound, and they're going to get a foul going up against Eli Sensenig, who's had a tough night, and that's his third. He's battled foul trouble throughout, but a quick one. We're not even a minute into this second half. Boy, something else that jumped out at me. We talked about in our pregame setup, that guy right there, Evan Thomas, having big games last year in all 3, 20-plus scoring. He had 2 in the first half, and his counterpart, who also has had big nights, as triple halfway down, but pops out for Wiggerink. That would have been big. But Clayton Dykehouse with only 2 in that first half for Hope.
Not a lot of contributions from anyone on that offensive end. Poor shooting, good defense from Calvin, and they're going to get back into this ball game, though, Brett. They have to do it on the defensive end, right? They can't just trade baskets in the second half, even if they get that offense going.
Deep 3. Bolts rattles it home. Boy, it is just looking like a giant ocean that they're shooting into for Calvin right now, no matter who's shooting the 3. Big one there for Bolt. He's got 8 now. Dykehouse dribble along the baseline. Nice lead for Evan Thomas. Yes, and 1. Nice finish on the far side of the basket with the left hand. And we mentioned Thomas only 2 points in that first half. Let's see if this sparks him a little bit.
Better ball movement, better people movement right there for Hope, right? A little drive, cut to the basket, and that first half, it was a lot of one-on-one, stand and watch and take contested jump shots.
Quillen was their leader with 5, if that tells you the storyline in that first half, how tough it was for Hope. In and out for Thomas on the free throw attempt. Rebound cleared by Calvin. 48-17. The lead is 31 here in the early part of the second half by the Knights. Moving now from left to right across your TV screen, right to left for Drew and I. With our camera on the far side of DeVos Fieldhouse. Overway wanted it on the post, didn't get it. Now the triple try with 5 seconds left. The shot clock deep by Bolt. No. Thomas bothered that a little bit long term out to Hope. Warman attacks right side, kicks out to Thomas. Extra pass to Wiggerink. No, that one off the board and popped out for 3. That's 2 that he's had good looks at. Can't knock him down. Uchenna Egekeza, the story in that first half with 18 to lead all scores. Overway has it now. High elbow, working against Quillen. Leaves it for Ressler, the freshman. Freshman to freshman. Ressler, bounce pass down low, in traffic, tough, knocked away. Off the leg of a Hope defender. It'll stay with Calvin. 2R left.
And if you're Calvin in the second half, you do not want to change anything. Continue to attack the basket. A lot of good contributions from different guys. Continue to get Overway out top.
Oh, they lost Egekeza that time of the inbounds. Easy 2 on the backside. Nice feed that time by Bolts. How about the hot shooting, Drew, too, by Calvin in that first half? 16 of 21 as a team for 76%, and then 4 of 5 from behind the arc for 80%. Doesn't get much better than that on the road.
They came to play tonight.
Quillen. Dribble drive against Overway, backing his way down, though goes across the lane again with a right-handed hook finish. Starting to heat up a little bit. He's got 9 to lead Hope. Down low, Overway. Hope just didn't get back that time. Wiggerink with the full court pressure. Late getting back, and a nice extra pass by Wrestler to Overway for the finish. Quillen, right wing. In the corner, Evan Thomas now back out to Dykhouse between the circles. To Quillen, little motion offense. Leaves it for Dykhouse left side. Dribbles to the free throw line, bounce pass down low. Nice job and finish. High-low Dykhouse to Quillen that time off the screen and roll.
Yeah, they're really challenging Overway. Obviously, the message from Coach Mitchell is we're going inside, get the ball into Quillen, and make Overway defend.
Wrestler has it. Getting a start tonight, the freshman out of Catholic Central against Wiggerink. Out top, Bolt. Round the horn, they feed Overway. Pushed off the block by Quillen. Overway faces up, now backing his way down with his body, goes up strong, gets it to go. Just too strong that time for Gabe Quillen, shaking his head, coming away. Quillen's doing everything he can, but it's just tough. Jalen Overway, folks, Mr. Double-Double in the MIAA this year. Evan Thomas muscles his way up. Yes, and a foul. That was textbook classic Evan Thomas right there. How often did we see that in highlights a year ago?
Yeah, that's what he does. Kind of puts the defender on his back, uses his size and strength, and a couple and ones in the second half for Evan Thomas, trying to get their superstar going, but deficit might be too deep at this point.
54-23. Calvin leads it by 31. We've reached our first media timeout in the second half. 15:43 left to go in regulation here at DeVos Fieldhouse. And with the timeout on the floor, we'll step aside as well as you're watching live tonight here on the Hope Sports Network.
Give the gift of flowers from Heisman Flowers, offering green plants, tabletop centerpieces, and breathtaking floral arrangements of all different shapes, sizes, and colors. Celebrate your next event with us or give a gift to that special someone. Offering nationwide same-day flower delivery. Visit us online at HeismanFlowers.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Seth Palmer, an ears, nose, and throat physician at Michigan ENT and Allergy Specialist and a 2002 graduate of Hope College.
And I'm Dr. Rich Strabbing, a fellow ear, nose, and throat physician at Michigan ENT and Allergy Specialist and a 1996 graduate of Calvin University.
Hope fan
or Calvin fan,
we are on the same team serving your needs.
With 6 locations throughout West Michigan,
we've got your medical concerns covered.
Want to remind you, fans, tonight's broadcast is being brought to you by our Hope College anchor partners like LVZ Financial Planning, Lighthouse Title Group, and Holland Board of Public Works. Also, special thanks to our Rivalry sponsors tonight, Sound Off Signal, MVP, Heisman Flowers, Michigan ENT, and BioLife. Brett Bakita along with former Mr. Basketball and MSU star Drew Knight, so welcome you back as at the free throw line, Evan Thomas to finish off the and one before the media timeout. Just 2 points in the first half. Can't dial up the free throw. Still not quite at 100%. Greg Mitchell even telling me that before the game. Rebound Calvin, and again, some full court pressure even after the miss. As new into the lineup tonight for Hope. Wrestler backing him down. Fadeaway jumper, no. Evan Thomas clearing the rebound. But Justin Mims, freshman guard out of Rochester, Michigan, in for Hope, has the basketball right there. Nice bounce pass down low on the baseline. Thomas, no, spinning through, but gets the foul. The contact couldn't quite finish. Bill Saul, I don't think, liked that call.
Yeah, certainly a new focus, though, in the second half for Evan Thomas. Much more assertive on the offensive end. That first half, just 4 field goal attempts. Didn't get to the free throw line at all, so.
Little different story, too, as far as the foul situation. That's a 4th foul, and I think that's why you heard from Bill Saul in front of us against Calvin to 0 on the board. It was a different story. Remember, Hope seemed like they had 9 early in that first half as Thomas gets the first. Overway going to get a breather here at the 15-17 mark. Back in with super sub Dane Harvey. How about the defensive stint he had in the first half, and then added some scoring late. Thomas off the mark on the second. Rebound hauled down by Marcus Bolts. Full court pressure even after the miss. Little extended 2-3 zone. Now they'll fall back into their man-to-man pressure defense for Hope. Warman hounding the ball against Harvey. Also checking in Owen Varnado at that last timeout. Freshman, big minutes for him against Hope in that first half as the turnaround jumper on the baseline. Nice by Eli Sensitive.
Yeah, I mean, that's just one-on-one taking it to him, and Evan Thomas got to play a little bit stronger defense right there. I mean, you talk about pride of both these programs, and that's what defense is, just stopping the guy in front of you, and right there, just way too easy.
Yeah, and you see it on the other end. That's Dane Harvey. Gritty defensively, right in the pocket of Evan Thomas, and ties him up after the knockaway. I tell you what, if we had a defensive MVP in this game, that's my guy right there, Dane Harvey. He's doing all the little grit things.
Mr. Hustle coming in off the bench, getting the floor burns, making Dad proud.
He's one of those annoying, like, fly pests, right, defensively.
Well, he plays his role, right?
Yep.
I mean, he knows that at this stage of his career, not going to come in and, you know, get 10, 15 shots a night and doing whatever it takes to get on the floor. That's what you got to love as a coach.
And he gets the turnover because the tie-up, possession arrow favored Calvin down low. Varnado with the finish. Nice feed down low on the baseline, and Calvin just keeps attacking, to your point, Drew. 58-24. The lead is 34. 14:05 left to go, and ticking in this one is now TJ McKenzie. Bumped and drawing the contact. That's Varnado, the freshman, his second. So in the game right now for Coach Saul, but obviously with the lead, not as big a deal. He's got Sensenig with 3, Bolt with 3, and now Varnado with 2. Here's Mims. Nice job through traffic. Can't finish those. He split the defenders. Beautiful drive baseline by the Rochester Adams product. Now up ahead. Ball deflected out of bounds. It'll stay with Calvin. And you're right on the attacking team, defensively getting the stops and making the plays, but also Calvin has not hesitated pushing the basketball tonight. Really.
I mean, Hope's on their heels on the offensive end and on the defensive end right there. I mean, luckily Thomas got a fingernail on it, but that was going to be another easy 2 for Calvin in transition.
We saw Hope. We expected to do more of that in this one, but it's been Calvin on the attack, nonstop. Wrestler now just muscling down low Dykehouse, and Clayton has to commit the foul. Wrestler is a strong kid. Stronger than he looks with, as you mentioned, that kind of deceiving, like 6'2", 6'3" frame.
Yeah, we watched him throughout his career at Grand Rapids Catholic Central, and the ultimate glue guy for Coach TJ Merriman there, and winning a state championship. He's a winner. Another one of those guys for Coach Saul, kind of does whatever it takes to get on the floor and help his team win.
First free throw good, and this is the other thing. He just does all the little things like knock down your free throws. You know, make your layups, even contested. Can post you up. So Wrestler with 2 more. He's got 8, 60-24 Calvin. Biggest lead of the night, 36. Quillen spins, half hook up and good, and without Overway out there, that's what Hope's going to do.
Yeah, I like the big fella showing some fight on the inside, and it's his go-to move right over that left shoulder. Hard to stop with his size in there.
Harvey on the attack, up and under, and nice job on the finish. Got Quillen up, then went underneath him and got it to go off the window. Sophomore out of Forest Hills Eastern. Everybody scoring tonight and getting in the act for Calvin. Agakeza leads them with 20. Quillen, who has the basketball now, leads Hope with 13. Down low on the block, Varnado. Up and under, beautiful move that time, Quillen. I liked his patience for the big man, and now a timeout after the make by Greg Mitchell. We're short of the immediate timeout, so let's see what they're going to do here. 30-second timeout. They are going to make it the immediate timeout, so we'll step aside as well. 12:54 left to go in regulation. Our score, Calvin 62, Hope 28. You're watching all the action live tonight from DeVos Fieldhouse here on the Hope Sports Network.
You know, as we welcome you back to DeVos Fieldhouse, Drew and I very honored to be asked to do all the Rivalry Series games this year on the different YouTube channels for each school. And our first time working with the Hope College staff. And we want to say our thanks to the Hope Video Services team tonight, led by Phil Blau, Freddie Velasquez, and Steve Secor. You guys have been outstanding. All the students helping out on the cameras with our broadcast tonight. Hope you've enjoyed it here on the Hope Sports Network. It's been a lot of fun for us.
First class setup, and makes our job a lot easier, partner. That's for sure. And
looking forward to it, and we'll be back here for the women's rematch. Remember, it was a great game at Calvin that was won by Hope, but both teams right now on the women's side ranked in the top 25. That's coming up February 8th, our next broadcast back here on the Hope Sports Network.
Saw both those teams back in early November and continuing their successful runs through the season, and looking forward to that one.
Hope women's team, by the way, before this one tonight, getting a nice win at home over Adrian in front of this crowd that was building through the evening. Knock away by Hope, getting a turnover. Calvin fans, of course, didn't like it, but let's see if they can take advantage. Dykhouse down the lane, strong dribble, nice finish, contested with a left hand. Pretty good defense by Harvey that time, too.
And Dykhouse, a guy who, 13 points per game for Coach Mitchell, and, pretty quiet in that first half. As we mentioned early in this game, that deer in the headlights look, and can't dig yourself a 30-point hole and expect to come out of it.
Overweight back in there, goes to the hook from the left block. No good. Pretty good defense by Quillen. Back to the way. Evan Thomas, hesitation dribble, goes up. Lots of contact, no call, and Harvey's got the rebound. And now what are they going to get? It's going to be Gabe Quillen with the reach over the top for the big man. That's just his first, team second in this second half, to 5 team fouls on the board for Calvin. Now back off the bench, Eli Sensenig will come in. Good minutes for Dane Harvey checking out. Gets a high five from his head coach, Bill Saul. 11:57 left to go in this one. Hope going to counter back with Warman coming in. They'll go small here. Quillen going to go out, also checking in. Justice Mims, freshman product, 6'2" guard out of Rochester Adams. And they're going to go to our immediate timeout here. We thought it was earlier, so we'll step aside as well. 62-30. The lead is 32 in favor of Calvin here on the road. 11:57 left to go second half. Back with more action with Hope and Calvin. The rivalry series renewed here on the Hope Sports Network.
Whether you're building your dream home, buying a fixer-upper, or downsizing, the process can feel overwhelming. Let the local team at Lighthouse Title help the closing process be one less worry. Just ask your real estate professional or lender to close at Lighthouse Title. To learn more about how we are involved in our 35 communities, or to ask us any questions about the process, visit us online at lighthousetitle.net.
My name is Shay, and I have a condition that I take a medication that's made out of human plasma.
Hi, Shay. Welcome to BioLife. We take the generous gift of these donors in order to make these therapies. We make it safe, fast, and easy.
You're compensated for your time while you're coming in and donating.
I just really wanted to thank you for your donation, because y'all do change lives. Y'all really do. And I'm thankful for that.
Want to say hello across the country to all the Hope and Calvin fans watching our broadcast live tonight here on the Hope Sports Network. And don't forget, on both Hope Athletics YouTube channel and Calvin University's Athletics YouTube channel, they archive these broadcasts, so you can go back and check it out if you want. I had a chance to go back and watch our women's broadcast from late November. A lot of fun, and glad to live stream all the action here. First time they've done this year with the rivalry series. And after tonight, we might be tied at 1 apiece as far as the overall, right? Got to develop a trophy for that, although it could end in some ties quite often because of how good these programs are for both the men's and the women's teams. Each meeting twice. But as you know, what's funny is that's why this game can really boost you if you win it. But since it's the first one, they're used to meeting at least 3 times over a given year. Once usually in the MIAA tournament, too, as after the turnover, back the other way in transition. For Hope, we have a whistle before the dunk by Quillen. And we're going to have arm bar called.
And we talked about it in the pregame, partner. I mean, we anticipated Calvin to come out with a little chip on their shoulder.
Absolutely.
You get blanked the season before and go 0-3 against your rival. That doesn't sit well the whole entire offseason. I'm sure they had this game circled for a long time, and they're playing some intense basketball tonight.
Nice job, Quillen faking, going with his left hand towards the middle, goes back baseline right, and that right-handed hook has been big here early on in this second half. He's got 17 now. 11:02 left to go. In the paint, continuing his big night is Egekeza. Uchenna Egekeza now with 22.
Yeah, I mean, he is feeling it. He's knocked down some threes, got to the free throw line. Nice floater, mid-range game right there.
They go to
like
Quillen.
an All-American right now.
Like you said, can't trade buckets, though. They need to hit some threes as well after feeding the big guy. There comes the help, kicks it back out, 3 on the way. McKenzie around and out, and that's been the difference tonight. Hope just can't knock down those threes, where Calvin's made a bunch of them already. Rebound, Calvin. Also, they've done a great job, I think, on the defensive boards. Not many offensive rebounds. Now a strip by Dykhouse, working against the taller Bolts. Dykhouse behind the back dribble in the left corner, tries to go baseline, lost the handle, and it's going to be Calvin basketball again. Bill Saul looking up at that foul situation, saying, hey, it's 6-2 against us here in the second half. 64-32. They break the full court pressure. Nice job in the middle. Sensenik down low to Overway, and there's the body foul against Quinlan as the entry pass was coming in on the right side.
And maybe a little makeup call right there. Coach Saul riding the officials, looking to even this up, but I would say Hope's probably playing a little bit harder and more intense in this second half with the deficit that they're facing, picking up full court, trying to get steals, reaching, but I'd say that's the one thing that Calvin's going to have to shore up is that point guard position, the ball handling position as they go through this MIAA season, and with hopes of making another deep run in the month of March, getting back to a final.
Devin Chaney now in for Quillen, matching up with Overweight. He knocks it off his leg out of bounds. Bill Saul not happy with his big man there, putting it down on the hard court. He's saying just make your move and square up. Good job by Chaney with the quick hands. It's all about possessions now for Hope. 64-32. 9:55 left to go. TJ McKenzie left wing to Thomas. Ball reversal right side now in the corner. Wigerink, who's back in there. Chaney swinging it side to side. Wigerink comes off a Chaney screen. Nothing there on the right side. Warman on the drive. Penetration kick out. Wigerink gets it to go. It's a 2 inside the arc, but let's see if that gets the West Ottawa product going. He's had a tough shooting night. That was just his first bucket. He's had a couple threes go in and out. Going baseline, Bolt, and they're going to call a block. Wigerink was late coming over to try to take away the baseline drive. As the foul's starting to even out a little bit now. Overway going to come out, the Holland Christian product. Insert another freshman. What a freshman recruiting class for Bill Saul with just the local talent. Owen Varnado coming in. By the way, he's the first cousin of Jaylen Brown, the NBA star for the Boston Celtics. How about that?
Yeah, showed up for a Calvin game earlier this season. How about the athleticism right there from Varnado? I mean,
yeah. Out of Western Michigan Christian.
Yeah, he's an exciting prospect for Calvin.
Can see where he has a little of that connection with Jaylen Brown. And speaking of that, partner, I got to bring up, you got kind of a bucket list trip. You got to go see the Boston Celtics, right? And what an atmosphere it is there.
Game 6.
With Draymond Green and Golden State.
Absolutely. Trip I'll never forget, going out there for Game 6 of the NBA Finals, seeing the Golden State Warriors bring home the trophy and to hang out with Draymond after the game a little bit. So, yeah, certainly a once-in-a-lifetime kind of opportunity.
Isn't it something, though? I've only been to the old Boston Garden, and it wasn't for a Celtics game. Just walking into the building with no one around, you could feel the nostalgia. You could feel the history there of basketball.
Oh, yeah. I mean, historic franchise, absolutely.
And Draymond Green, if he keeps this up, he's going to run out of, digits on the hands, right, for those rings. Just keeps racking them up. What a career he's had.
I mean, I think he's probably headed to the Hall of Fame with 4 rings, couple defensive player of the years.
Absolutely. Dane Harvey on the drive. Nice finish down the left side of the lane. No one came over on the help side. Back to the way as it speeds up. McKenzie for Cheney. Drops it through. Well, Hope needs this pace, but as you talked about, partner, they're not gaining any ground on the scoreboard.
Yeah, really haven't they've put up a better fight in the second half, but really haven't put a dent into that deficit. And if you're Coach Mitchell, you're looking for something positive to take away from this game and move forward.
Bolt dribbles right side, handoff to Harvey. Harvey swings it out top, Sensenate. He's watched there by Warman. Right side, deep 3 on the way. Wow, Bolt. Rebound cleared by Wiggering. Hands off to Evan Thomas. Thomas in the front court. Coming off a Wiggering screen at the top. Watched by Harvey, though, the defensive stopper. Hand off Warman. Strong drive with a left hand down the lane. Floater, no. Rebound cleared by Sensenate as he's falling backwards. And now on the outlet pass, reaching by T.J. McKenzie, committed the foul against Uchenna Egekeza, and that'll get us to inside the 8-minute mark and another media timeout. Down the stretch we go. 66-36, Calvin by 30. 7:51 left to go at DeVos Fieldhouse. Back with more action after this on the Hope Sports Network.
My name is Travis Williams. I'm the CEO of the ODC Network. I graduated from Hope in 1998. I studied biology, and then I also played football. In order to be successful, people really need more than just the academic experience, but they need people to come alongside them and help them, coach them, mentor them. I find that Hope College has just been one of the best examples of being able to do that anywhere.
As an invested community partner, LVZ is proud to help share Hope stories of transformational impact.
My name is Megan Bigelow, and during my time there, I was on the Hope women's soccer team. I decided to choose Hope because of the opportunity to be involved in multiple things. I didn't want to go somewhere where I was just a number in the field. I was able to double major, experience both a business academic load as well as economics. I loved the opportunity to really get to know my professors. Hope exceeded my expectations.
I'm Nate Bauman. As an invested community partner, we're proud to help share Hope stories of transformational impact.
You know, Drew, some of the halftime numbers team-wise that stood out to me. Points in the paint, Calvin with Overway 24-8 over Hope. Now, Quillen's gotten some better looks in the second half, so that's evened out maybe a little bit. But I talked about the rebounds, the one and done. Calvin doing a great job on the defensive glass. They out-rebounded Hope 21-7 in that first half. And the shooting we already talked about was outstanding. I mean, 8 more makes from the free throw line, but shooting 76% from the field as a team and 80% from behind the arc for Calvin in those first 20 minutes.
Yeah, and a lot of that rebounding stat, though, is just missed shots, right? I mean, Calvin didn't miss a whole lot on their end, and Hope couldn't find the bottom on theirs, so a little distorted, but certainly Calvin winning those effort stats in that first half.
Here we go, back to number 4. Overway got it knocked away from behind by Cheney, who bothers him because he's a little bit quicker with his hands and active. And now goes out of bounds off of the freshman that time, Owen Varnado. So Hope will get it back. 66-36, Calvin leads it. Calvin trying to pick up win number 11 on the season, and for Hope, if this holds, we'll drop to 500 on the season at 7-7. Step back 3 by Dykhouse, can't knock it down. Hope really struggling from behind the arc tonight. Rebound Calvin, back the other way, coast to coast, blocking by Wiggering, coming over that time on the help against Sensenig, who was just going to take it coast to coast on the right side.
Yeah, again, that's the communication that you're not seeing from Hope throughout this entire game, just getting back, communicating on the defensive end. And Coach Mitchell can't be happy with that defensive effort, letting Sensenig get all the way coast to coast.
Oh, again, they lose on the inbounds going man-to-man defensively. The slip that time underneath the basket, and Egekeza didn't get it to drop, but he was fouled. We'll go to the free throw line. Some good inbounds plays by Calvin underneath their own basket. Foul going to be whistled against Hope's Justice Mims. 7:04 left to go in this. What we mentioned in February, back-to-back Wednesday nights. All 4 games, by the way, on Wednesday nights. Usually you see a Wednesday and then a Saturday for the rematch. Not this year the way the MIAA conference laid it out. But February 8th and then February 15th back at Calvin. 8 o'clock tip-off at Van Noort Arena for the rematch of the men in this one. First free throw, no good, but Egekeza gets the second. Wholesale substitutions now for Coach Saul as Egekeza will come out. Dane Harvey checking out along with a fellow freshman Varnado. In for Calvin. Coming back in is Bolts. Overway will stay in there. Also in there is Ambrose. And Wrestler back in there. Wrestler against Mims. Mims at the free throw line. Needs some help. Dishes back out to Dykehouse. Clayton Dykehouse out of Zeeland East off a high screen for Wiggering. Now leaves it for him. Can't pull the trigger. Shot clock down to 12. Mims between the legs, dribble down the right side. Try to go up and under. And threw it up almost through the hoop, but bodied up by Overway. Jalen late coming over. 2 shots coming up. Want to thank again our great sponsors with our broadcast tonight. First ever for this one on the Hope Sports Network. Our Hope College anchor partners, LVZ Financial Planning. Also our friends at Lighthouse Title Group as Mims gets the first, and Holland Board of Public Works. And our rivalry sponsors, of course, tonight, Sound Off Signal. I've seen some of their commercials during our broadcast. MVP, Heisman Flowers, Michigan ENT, and our friends at BioLife. Mims gets the second. His first 2 points of the ball game. 67-38. Stay with us once we're done with our postgame tonight. We'll take you through some of the final individual scoring in this one. And I'll be courtside with the winning head coach and a player from the winning team before we wrap things up here from DeVos Fieldhouse this evening. Now Wrestler got it stripped by Mims. 2-on-1 of the breakout. Dykehouse, Overway giving chase. Couldn't get there, and Dykehouse with the easy layup and in.
Yeah, that's the one thing for Calvin in that first half. Even with that big lead and unbelievable performance, they still had 10 turnovers, right? And they've turned it over a number of times in the second half, so they're going to want to tighten that up. So if you're looking to critique Calvin's performance at all tonight, they haven't done a lot wrong, but they have turned the basketball over.
Try to get it down low to Overway, and they're going to get Cheney, I believe, with a hold. Tough matchup for him. Well, big win for Calvin on the road. You know, road wins, I think, always count like 2, right? Whether it's the Big Ten or the MIAA. With this tonight, Calvin's going to improve to 3-0 in conference play, 11-3 overall. And I mentioned Hope still trying to figure things out as Cheney will come out with the foul trouble. With the loss in coming up tonight, they will go to 7-7 overall and 1-2 in conference play. Uncharted territory for Flying Dutchmen. Remember, they are the defending regular season and tournament champs from a year ago.
Came in with a lot of hype and expectation, right? So big target on their back, right? Everybody's gunning for them to
preseason favorite,
yeah,
in the MIAA.
Absolutely. It's a different kind of pressure when you come in as the favorite, and you know they won it all last year, and people are trying to get some revenge, including this Knights ball club.
Jalen Overway, by the way, starting to add to his total. Came in averaging 19 points per game. He's got 14 now on the night after those 2 free throws. And now Wiggering going to check out. In for the first time tonight for Hope is Brady Swinehart, senior out of Ionia, 6'1" guard. Just under 6 minutes left to go. Dykehouse. Little pick and roll with Quillen. Quillen, half hook right hand over Overway. No, off the back iron. Rebound up big. Bolts before he's fouled. Fun to watch the 2 6'9" post players battling tonight. Both guys we covered in high school. Overway down the road at Holland Christian. Quillen, of course, even though he was injured a lot of his senior year with Grand Rapids Catholic Central. Of course, the Cougars won it all that year. But excited to continue his career at a great place here like Hope College. We walk to the other end because 9th team foul now up on the board for Hope to 7 for Calvin. So both teams in the bonus the rest of the way. Bolt off the mark on the 1-on-1 opportunity. Rebound Quillen. Quillen coming in averaging 13 points. Leaves it for a deep 3. Almost got it to go around, but popped out off the window. He's above his average with 17 on the night to lead the way for the Flying Dutchmen. Calvin will take their time each possession now. No hurry. Ambrose has it. Penetrates. Skip pass over to Wrestler in the corner. Bolt step through and yes and one with a finish. Boy, he looked like a running back cradling that ball as he came through 2 defenders and then a nice finish across the lane with the right hand.
I like Marcus Bolt. He's kind of that tough guy. He brings that physicality to this Knights ball club, and knocked down a couple threes early and putting it on the deck right there, finishing through the contact, having a nice game. And Egakiza has kind of overshadowed him tonight, but he certainly had a nice performance in this rivalry game.
Another Illinois product, Wheaton, Illinois, Wheaton Academy for Marcus Bolts. 6'6" junior forward / guard. Can't knock down the free throw. You know what he kind of reminds me of? I'm going to go back to your high school days. Remember the wars you used to have with some of the players of Calvin Christian? Had some link to him. He kind of reminds me of like a Calvin Christian type of player, right? Skilled, can hit the three.
Yeah. Kind of that tweener,
finish.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, he leads the team in assists, right? As a wing player. And again, I mean, I like Coach Saul's ball club. He's got a lot of guys that do a lot of different things.
Yep.
And, all kind of play their role, and nobody's out there to just get their own, right? They're pretty unselfish bunch.
Quillen almost traveled. Now they throw the lob to him. A nice tip finish that time. Swinehart throwing it up. Nice job, Swinehart. A little pick and roll down the right side of that lane. Quillen finishing strong here. He's got 19. In the battle with Overway's outscored him by 5. Bolt. Bounce pass down low to Overway. Now wants to go to work on the right block. He wants to answer. Backing his way down. Left-handed hook. Gets it to drop. Jalen Overway. Folks, that's how you lead the MIAA conference with 19 points per game and 10 rebounds. And he's only a freshman. Quillen, the sophomore, trying to answer back the other way. Nice step in steal. Wrestler didn't see the help coming. Wrestler now in transition. Up ahead. Sensitive can't finish, but the follow is up and good. Nice job of staying with it by Matt Ambrose. And I tell you what, Hope lacking a little effort getting back that time.
Yeah.
With the basketball, right elbow. Ethan Crabtree out of Coldwater. Skip pass over left side. Now Hawkins gets it to go. Little fade away from 7. Nice bucket by Harris Hawkins, the senior. So Coach Mitchell trying to get some of his seniors in for the rivalry series that maybe haven't played as much. 75-44, 3:22 left to go. Kind of the midway point of the season for both clubs when you look at their records, but early on in MIAA conference play, just week 2. Bolt, shot clock down to 6, kicks it over to Ambrose. Ambrose, the runner, down the right side lane, no. Battle for the rebound, tipped around, Hawkins has it. Hands off to Crabtree. Crabtree will bring it across the timeline, up the right sideline, right in front of the Hope bench. Hangs in the air in amongst the trees, can't finish, left it short. Hawkins on the rebound. Swinehart fakes the 3, now pull-up jumper off the mark from the Ionia product. Rebound hauled down by Overway, and Calvin now just content to walk it up each possession. And Coach Saul going to take a timeout just to kind of clear his bench. You can hear the maroon and gold to our left. Student section and alumni loving it and going crazy as we've reached our final media timeout. 2:36 left to go. Timeout on the floor, so we'll step aside as well. Calvin 75, Hope 44. Back with more at DeVos Fieldhouse after this on the Hope Sports Network. There you see the Calvin student section going nuts, cheering on the performance of their team, up 31-75-44. And by the way, best Calvin defensive efforts versus Hope since 1950. 2013, it was 75-49 Calvin. 1952, January 16th, 85-43. And you got to go back to 1950, February 22nd, 66-48. That's going back in the history books.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be one of the lowest scoring first halves in this rivalry. And
triple try up and good. Everything's falling now for the Knights. Matt Ambrose with 3.
And you got to love that out of a team, right? There's been no letdown. I mean, Hope's put up a better effort in the second half, but it's a lot of times you get up to a big lead and then you kind of loaf in the second half. But Calvin, they came out with that same fire and fight, and they've kept it going start to finish, and it's been total domination.
Foul on the other end against Calvin, and that's going to go against as he checks out right now after that 3. Big smile on his face. Matt Ambrose, sophomore guard out of Illinois. Into the lineup now for the Knights, Logan Van Essen. 6-foot sophomore guard out of Crown Point, Indiana. We told you both these programs have become more than just Michigan. Their Midwest base is now a foul on the rebound, grabbed by Trevin Winkle. And you look at this freshman class, they are excited. Winkle, by the way, going to walk to the other end. Double bonus on. 10th team foul against Hope. By the way, getting in for the Flying Dutchmen. Let's catch you up. Carson Sanders, freshman guard, coming in at that last break. Swinehart was in there. Andrew Leeper, freshman out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, Homestead High School. Also headband and all, Zach Hawes, sophomore guard out of Hazlet, Michigan. Played at Langsburg High. And Ben Wager, 6'7" sophomore out of Harbor Springs, Michigan, played at Petoskey High School. By the way, Langsburg, I believe the connection for Coach Mitchell.
Yeah.
As a high school head coach before coming over to Hope. Second free throw good. Nice job knocking him down by Trevin Winkle. Hope back on the attack. On the left side of your screen, moving right to left, just opposite for Drew and I. No good on the half hook. Rebound cleared by Winkle. Now he wants to push up the right side. Toby Vanderwood, sophomore, got out of Caledonia. Nice job leaving it 4 on the attack, but he couldn't finish on the up and under. Lawrence DeYoung out of Aurora, Illinois. Now Swinehart back the other way. Nice leave, extra pass in traffic. Trying to get it up, does with a left hand. Nice finish that time by Hope's Andrew Leeper. His first bucket on the board, 79-46. Final 90 seconds in this one. Wheeling and dealing, nice job. Oh, tried to finish. Kind of pump faked himself that time. Just off the shot was Vanderwood. Leeper down low. Left block, kick back out. 3, silky smooth from the lefty. Knocking it down was Ben Wager out of Petoskey High. That silky smooth left-hander, Drew Knight.
Still playing hard. Gotta love it.
Now a fadeaway jumper from the right elbow, Logan Van Essen. I tell you, these guys off the bench, they want to score, lighten it up. Hearing it from the student sections, 81-49. Just under a minute to play in this one. Turnaround jumper, no good by Carson Sanders. Rebound cleared by Calvin. On the outlet, Mitchell Cook in there, junior guard out of Williamston. Williamston with that great team a year ago, knocking off Grand Rapids Catholic Central in the state championship game at the Breslin Center. Winkle fadeaway jumper, no. Tapped and controlled on the rebound for Hope. Leeper. Outlet to Hawes. Hawes right wing, now leaves it for Leeper. Hand off to Swinehart. Swinehart dribbles between the rings. Leaves it left side. Skip pass over right corner. Another lefty firing it. No good off the mark. Leeper. Rebound Calvin, and now they can just walk this thing out. Final few seconds. On their feet, the Knight faithful, as both head coaches shake hands at the midcourt stripe, and that's your final. Calvin wins it here impressively on the road. Largest margin of victory by Calvin over Hope since 1977. That was 93-60. Tonight's final, Drew Neitzel, 81-49.
Yeah, just total domination, start to finish. I mean, that was a 20-point lead before you could even blink in this game. And give credit to Calvin University. They were ready, they were focused, and brought a different level of intensity into this ball game tonight.
Hey, great job, partner with the broadcast. I'm going to head over courtside. Coming up after the break in our post-game coverage, we'll talk to the winning head coach Bill Saul from Calvin, and also one of his players as Calvin wins it to improve to 11-3 overall, 3-0 in conference play. Again, the final 81-49 over Hope. We'll step aside and come back with more post-game coverage from DeVos Fieldhouse after this on the Hope Sports Network.
In a Hope Forward model, every student who comes through the doors of Hope College would have their tuition 100% covered.
Here for Calvin University as the Knights win it 81-49 over their rival Hope. And joining me right now, head coach Bill Saul to my immediate left, to my far left, leading scorer in the game for both teams, and for Calvin, obviously, Uchenna Egekeza. I've been practicing that name all night long. Hey, congratulations. And Uchenna, let's start with you. 18 of your 23 points to lead the way coming in that first half. Everything was falling for you. Talk about that.
Yeah, just one of those games. I just knew it was intense. I had to come in and be aggressive for the team and set the tone. We have a lot of freshmen that haven't really experienced much of this, like the intensity of this game. So that was just kind of my thought process, just going in and just being as aggressive as possible and giving confidence to not only myself but the rest of my teammates.
You guys, to that point, have been fantastic at home. You've been 8-0 at home, 2-3 on the road. You know how tough it is, the MIAA. Yeah. The message from Coach Saul, who's played in these wars before as a player and a coach, and then, like you said, translating that to the freshmen. How was the week of practice leading into this game?
Oh, it was very intense. We knew the stakes. We knew we haven't beaten them in a while, and we really wanted it. And in practice, we go hard every day, and we're pushing each other, and that's what it's all about. So, yeah.
Coach, speaking of your experience with this rivalry, have you ever seen anything like that first half, especially for a road team? I mean, you're up 45-13 at the break.
Yeah, that was kind of amazing. I mean, I thought our defensive effort was incredible, right? I mean, Chen did an amazing job on Thomas. He couldn't get a look. But all our guards really got a compliment a lot. I mean, there was just nowhere to go. I thought we did a great job of packing the paint, but also really staying with their ball handlers. So I think we forced a lot of bad shots. And then on the other end, right, I mean, we had a lot of stuff go in, right? I mean, we've been struggling a little bit from the perimeter shooting, and I thought we got some good shots. But himself, Eli, a lot of guys did a great job with their pressure and getting downhill, and we really were able to score that way.
How big is it to win this game for where you are in the season? I tell people that, we get used to seeing Calvin Hope at least 3 times, right? Because you'll meet in the tournament too. So you want to win the last one. But for where you are, midway point of the season, start of the MIAA conference, what kind of energy boost is this for your club?
I think it's a good energy boost, but, it's like last year. We started the year 1-2, right? We lost to Hope, lost to Albion, and then had a win against Elma, and then had to grind it out. I mean, you're still trying to figure out your team. Everybody is. So, I mean, it's always, hey, what's happening in February, right? And we all know this. I mean, we'll have them back at our place here in a couple of weeks, and we know what kind of game that's going to be like. It's going to be a battle for sure.
Uchenna touched on it, but how impressed are you with your freshmen and their contributions, whether it's the defensive end, Overway with his scoring and rebounding? I mean, they do a lot of the little things for your club, and they appreciate the minutes they get.
They really do, and I think certainly Luca Resso, I thought, did a great job tonight. Owen did some really good.
Dane Harvey.
But the other guy that I thought was just tremendous tonight is Dane Harvey.
Yeah.
I mean, he was on the floor. He had 3 or 4 huge steals. Really energized their defense. I kudos to him. That's the best game he's played, certainly since we've been here.
Congratulations. I know you guys want to go celebrate.
Right.
Thank you so much for the time.
All right. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Calvin wins it tonight, 81-49. They improved to 3-0 in conference play, 11-3 overall. You hear from head coach Bill Saul. Uchenna Egekeza. I got to the last one, and Egekeza with the leading scoring efforts tonight for the Knights, 23 points in the win. Hey, we want to thank everyone with the help of our broadcast tonight here on the Hope Sports Network as we say so long from DeVos Fieldhouse. We'll see you again coming up February 8th, right back here for the second go-around with the women as part of our Rivalry Series coverage here with both Hope and Calvin University.